everybody. I'm doing a 45-minute session today for Jamie. Jamie, thank you so very much for the opportunity to explore this with you, and thank you so much for wanting to share this here on YouTube. I'm going to be going into American history today, and we're going to be diving into the Devil's Punchbowl in Natchez, Mississippi. I'm going to show you guys this. You attach some photos. So that's one of the pictures he sent me, and I'll read it. It says, "Never forget Devil's Punchbowl, when 20,000 freed black slaves died after being forced into post-slavery concentration camps in the South." I was doing just a little bit more digging on this, and something that hit me, and I never even would have thought of it, is maybe seemed like a strange detail, but where all of these black slaves that were freed, put into this concentration camp, where they died, there were peach trees that were growing, and nobody eats those peaches because those peaches were thriving off of the dead. That's really eerie, isn't it? And people that died in suffering, you know? So I'm going to read here what you said, and then we're going to take a look at this place, do healing for all of these souls, for this land, for the peaches, and just bring about some awareness for all of us to grow and heal and understand suffering that takes place then in ways that maybe we didn't even learn about in school. I never heard of this place, and that makes me feel really weird. I should know about Devil's Punchbowl in Natchez, Mississippi. Why don't I know about this place? I find that is cruel to my education, and it makes me very sad. So let me read here, because this is going to have a really bright ending. Okay, so you say, "Hello, angelic Abbey. This request is to heal anything, spirits, energies, tortured souls, etc., that may remain stuck or connected to the Devil's Punchbowl in Natchez, Mississippi. I feel I was possibly guided to this moment of history a while back for this reason today. I want to know if there is an important message for me as to why I was guided to this horrific story, and or for anyone else that may view this session. I'm really interested in what you find, and I know your beautiful, bright energy will be of great help for them if it's needed. This is my way of showing them some love on purpose. Thank you for your spiritual wisdom, love and light." All right. Heal anything, spirits, energies, tortured souls, etc. We're going to take a look at this space and learn some things, do some healing, and also gather some reflection for why you were guided to this moment of history that would help you or anyone else watching this video. All right. It gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know? I don't get the heebie-jeebies very easily. All right. I think it's because I feel so sad, and I just feel so eerie about those peaches. People should want to eat the peaches off the tree, but when you know how they grew, it makes sense why you wouldn't. It's like a earth space that wants to heal, that nobody even wants to touch it, except to remember. Okay, so really exhausting. On the energy side of things, there's it's very dense. As a very dense space, very draining. I feel like I'm maybe a watery energy that is slowly drifting through a dense energy space. It's circular, like a tunnel. There's something that is being thrown at me, and it's like really like pieces of metal that are sharp on the edges, and one of them finally, it hits me and it takes my head right off. I feel defeated. I feel that no matter what I do, what I say, it's almost like my fate has been written. And there is a sensation as though I will die here. And it's a big graveyard. It's a very vast graveyard. What I love, though, there is the sound of singing and dancing in the wind. It's sort of you trying to listen. Did I hear that? I'm almost certain I heard that. And it's singing and dancing and the spirit of freed slaves. And they're celebrating. And it's like the sound of triumph cannot come through because I'm in a vast graveyard. And where we go and celebrate the veterans that died, whether they died in the war or they died later in life, there is a vast graveyard there for people that we honor and respect for their time served, right? How do we honor and respect those who died here? It reminds me also of 9/11 and the Twin Towers. How do we honor and respect those who died in the Twin Towers? There's just such a heavy sensation. It's different than if I were to go to a veteran memorial space or a vast graveyard of those who served and who have died. It's a bit vibrationally, I don't get the heebie-jeebies there, you know? I don't get the heebie-jeebies going to visit my grandpas that passed away that in the, veterans where this vast graveyard. I don't feel the heebie-jeebies. I feel a sense of respect and honor and pride in that and curiosity about history and what it took to get through these wars, you know? I feel the heebie-jeebies about this graveyard, but what in Natchez, Mississippi, but what is intriguing to me is they're trying to sing, they're trying to be heard, they're trying to celebrate. I feel like there is another side of freedom that here we see freed souls guided and herded into their concentration camp, and that is where they died. They never really got to truly experience freedom. But something is whispering that we are free. We are free. And we want to move on now. It's like we want to be seen as something brighter than this history. Something colorful, something loud and musical, something singing. So I bring in lots of different cultures and different colors, different colors of people and voices and musical instruments. And I create vast array of musicians and people who aren't musicians that just want to show up and sing and be a part of a celebration for the dead. And it's like their hearts are calling for us to have a celebration for them. It's almost like give them a proper burial, but not something where we cry, but something where we sing and we dance and we celebrate the renewal of life. And not be afraid of the peach trees. It's almost like the trees are wanting to be a representation that the land is healed. And please enjoy the land. Please enjoy this space. But we all are still feeling the heebie-jeebies. And why? Because this was wrong. How do we correct what has been done? How do we just simply forgive that and say, okay, time to move on now? Because we can do that. I feel like it needs to be a collective inspiration where there is, like, let's say the government acknowledges Natchez, Mississippi, and what took place here, and whether it becomes a federal holiday or it's just, we're going to acknowledge this on this day, 2022. And if you want to continue to celebrate each year on this day, 2022, you're more than welcome. But we're going to bring in lots of, we'll bring in it's almost like I keep seeing veterans from the veterans graveyard, and their spirits are there, and I see soldiers coming out of honor and respect, and it's nothing to represent a military that is controlling. It's to represent that we are all people. Doesn't matter if you wear a uniform or you don't wear a uniform, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Hispanic, or whatever your cultural background or race is, or what your role is in society. It doesn't matter if you're a slave or if you're at the bottom of the barrel or if you're at the top, because we all have hearts that have the capacity to beat with unconditional love. We all have the ability to come together and love one another and share in a meal, share in some music, share in a parade, share in something that is brighter and more beautiful than how we've been feeling about this place. It's time for it to heal properly. They're wanting, and it's not as if they want it. It's not as if they need it. But it is something that if we ever felt as a human race moved to celebrate their lives, celebrate their spirits, it would be a big event. It would be big in the spirit realm and in our earth world. It would be huge, and it would be loud, and it would echo across the universe, and it would be felt by beings in other distant galaxies. Like, it would be very loud. So I'm bringing in the energy of love and people of all different kinds, whether they're alive or they're deceased, people of all different kinds, of all dimensional frameworks, different memories, different upbringings, different foods and musical styles, voices, languages. There's something that doesn't want this. There's something that doesn't want love, doesn't want love to come here. It wants the funeral to be sad. It wants no funeral at all. It wants this to remain as the heebie-jeebie place that never heals, that makes us feel crushed, even bone-crushing sad. Like, I feel like my heart is crushed as though it was a bone into freaking dust. It makes me so sad. And wants it to remain as sad as it could ever be. It wants it to remain even hidden, so nobody would ever really feel moved or inspired to create this kind of celebration. How you truly set souls free is with music and love and laughter and dancing and many, where we're all a part of this movement. And when we sing and we dance and we move in our physical human bodies, we move spirit energies too. We also move spirit energies. We can do that for the Twin Towers. We can do that for concentration camps. We can do that for any horrific places on our planet where people died in a really atrocious way. Like, I can't bear to hear that story. That's just absolutely devastating, where people have died in a horrific way. Man, I start to feel like, what if Natchez, Mississippi, there's an energy node there like a ley line or something. I feel like there's an amplifying energy, because as I continue to talk about celebration, it starts to rumble and shake. And I see that in this event of celebration, which we haven't quite gotten to yet, it breaks something. And I see light just shooting right out of the planet, like there's a portal here. And just like shooting out. And it's like, you know, when they call Batman and then they put the beam of light into the sky, it's like everybody can see it from anywhere in Gotham City. Like this light beam so bright out of our planet, it's like sending a signal across the galaxy. It's like got a powerful energy to it. And I feel this is interconnected with other places on our planet Earth where there was an attraction to suffering, people dying in a terrible way. And so there's this interconnected grid. Is it possible that there's a different set of ley lines? This is just an idea. And these ley lines attract events of suffering. So if we were to connect all the dots of these events of suffering, it would create its own, like, its own, what do people do this? They, grid work. It would be its own grid work. And if we could start to heal some of these intersecting points, we just go to these places where it's been known in history that horrific things took place here. And we started to sing and dance and celebrate and bring our kids, have a parade and celebrate these spirits, not with crying and tears and devastation and heebie-jeebies feelings, but with feelings, freedom and love and adoration for our human race and what we've been through and our ancestors. And some of these are us. See, so some of these souls are our own soul from another lifetime. And is it possible that your soul, Jamie, is one of these that endured this concentration camp in Natchez, Mississippi? It's not saying yes or no to that as of yet, okay? But they're showing me celebration anywhere and everywhere in this world. And it's going to shift this odd grid of suffering. It's going to change it. And when the suffering turns inside out, it's so saturated, so concentrated, it's going to turn so bright, so fast that it's almost like an explosion takes place and an energetic bomb blows off and it's like bing, light out into the like furthest reaches of the galaxy. It's pretty cool. All right, so I am dealing with the resistance and this energy that doesn't want this. It's the energy that wants the, it's almost like, all right, there's a force. This force has consciousness. This consciousness wants to be bold and strong. It wants to be the parameters of this concentration camp itself. It wants to hold these souls inside what is an energy space and hold it inside and create a very, it's almost like you filthy, rotten, disgusting, you're not even human. You're freaks of human. It's like because they're black, the energy is saying you're not human. You're a freak of nature. You're filthy and disgusting. And so it's very bold. It's very obsessed. It's very concentrated in this energy of hate. Okay, and it can't stop. It can't stop being this way. It can't let go of it. It can't change. And if we start celebrating life, if we start loving culture and bring in the party and the foods and the love of one another and religion, and it doesn't matter because we're beautiful people. If we bring in that, this energy has no power. It becomes reduced to what? Dust. beneath the feet of these freaks of humans, because that's what this energy, how it chooses to see black people. It sees black people as not even human. And for it to become the dust beneath their feet is absolutely, it's like turning its nose up, like, I'll be damned if that ever happens to me. And yes, it will happen to you. And the thing is, you don't have to become dust. You can join us in the celebration, because we all just want to forgive all of this. And you can forgive yourself. You can say, I was wrong. You can say, I was wrong. It's okay to say you were wrong. And that if that's all any of us could ever hear or want to hear, like, that's the greatest gift you could just give. I was wrong. How many of us would love to just hear that? Because we feel like there's so much in the bigger picture of world events today, the people that can't admit I was wrong. This is really what was going on, and we were wrong to do this. This energy that is surrounding this space and doesn't ever want to change, doesn't ever want to admit it's wrong. This has been a living force for too long, you know? It's specifically a male persona. It seems like one man. One man is the power to destroy the lives of thousands. How does that work exactly? How does that work? That tells me that there's thousands of people that don't want violence, that don't want war, that just want to do the right thing to make others happy, even if it's just to make one person happy, even if it ends their own life. It shows me that there's thousands of beautiful people, thousands of extraordinary souls that will even die in patience and forgiveness of one who is so horrendously lost. Feel like we need to eat these peaches. It's like these souls are saying, let's celebrate the renewal. Let's not celebrate the death and the way things happened, the horrificness of the way things happen. Let's celebrate how we want things to be moving forward. Now, if this man cannot say I was wrong, what do we do? Do we need him anymore? I think these souls were incredible to go through such an experience. Let's celebrate what incredible souls they were, right? Then they could be reaching us and teaching us this message today. Boy, it's starting to move. I started getting disoriented because it's starting to open up. It's starting to actually open up that dense energy. I mean, it's starting to open up, and I feel like it's like Pandora's box in all the best ways. Like, we open it up and it really is as beautiful as we always hoped it would be. And there's no horrific surprises. It's actually wonderful. And everybody wins. Everybody wins. I'm starting to get this like incredible feeling of so many awesome things, so many awesome details. I don't even know where to begin with them all. I hear the sound of, it's like it's raining gold, and I hear birds singing and chirping. I hear the ground, there's this like, it's like really loud grumbling noise, like the earth has got a belly ache, and I start to feel the ground shake and it start to pop and it bursts, and all of this just, it's like a volcanic eruption of energy. And it's kind of like the souls are being erupted out of the ground. The very souls are being erupted out of the ground. And this man is watching this, and he's holding his hat, and he's really nervous because he doesn't, it's like, where does he stand anymore? Where does he stand? Where does he stand now? And I say, you stand with us. You stand with all of us. Let's be grateful. Let's be excited. Let's work with forgiveness. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Let's celebrate. Let's love one another. Let's rejoice in each other. Let's move forward from this. He's actually bold enough to say some words. But he's still a bit, he's not quite there yet. It's almost like he has this psychological nature where he will say or be whoever he needs to be to fit into a collective majority. So now if all he needs to say is, oh, well, I was wrong and I just asked for all your forgiveness, and now he can be part of the group in order to slowly but surely manipulate us all into yet the next level of imprisonment. He's dangerous. What he has going on, because so many of us are I really do feel strongly there are so many of us that are genuinely loving and caring people. And we are leaning in the direction of the heart over something else. We're tired of violence. But this man, this is sad. Because it's almost like he will have to be hung on this tree now. I need to follow this all the way through because I see us all are twinkling in our eyes. The release of all these spirits and this like volcanic eruption of golden light and energy and the golden rain and the birds are singing and all this music, and there's this eruption and all these souls are like angelic energies and they're just shining and glowing, and we're celebrating each individual soul that went through this specific event in history is so precious. And we're all here in gratitude of what they went through and gratitude of the story and what we can learn from it and how we can grow and become better people from it. And this man who represents this energy that doesn't want this, right, finally bends, finally breaks. I say you don't have to be dust beneath our feet. You can stand as one of us. And he says, oh, and I start to see a new sly look in his eye as he's trying to figure this out now. He doesn't have to go to jail. He doesn't have to serve time. He doesn't have to dig or shovel. He doesn't have to do anything. Oh. And then I hear his speech and it sounds really good, but I feel his heart is actually just moving into the next level of how he can manipulate the situation and find his way on top again and again and again and again and again. And how do you get a person like this to figure it out? How is this one person so dangerous to thousands of people? It's decided unanimously that he will not hang on the tree. Instead, he's going to shine shoes, and he is going to be known as that man that imprisoned all of those souls for a very long time. But we will be grateful for that shoe shine. It's like we're going to give him an opportunity to be a part of society. We're not going to treat him as less than, although he will have to maintain a role that would be extremely beneath himself, where he can finally learn gratitude, but he will have to work. Because something in our souls is shaking its head and saying, I don't want any more violence. Just getting rid of this man does not solve the problem within his own soul. He will just be reborn and come back, and we will have this to deal with again and again and again. So just getting rid of these people is not the solution. It's almost like I'm starting to see an idea about how we hold these people accountable, as they will always be known for the rest of their life as the lowest part of our society. But because they will never be able to attain a job or a role or financial support that goes above a certain dollar amount. And if people want to donate to them or want to help them in some way, that's fine. But it's almost like they cannot ever be allowed to be a leader. They cannot ever be allowed. And they have to constantly be monitored like babies. It's almost like they'd have to live in a group home. It's really weird. I keep seeing the idea that he is going to be hung on the tree, but then I see everybody's head shake no, and then I see him as he's shining shoes. And everybody, I see a small town, and everybody says hi to him, and people go and sit down and let him shine their shoes, and they pay him 5 cents. And he takes the money that he's earned in the week and he goes to the barber shop to get a haircut, and everybody knows him as that guy. But nobody beats him, nobody throws eggs at him, nobody harms him in any way. But he's known as that guy, and he shines shoes now. That's what I'm shown about him. And that's what I'm shown as some kind of concept as to how we treat individuals who go on that path. They can't be trusted in with money. They can't be trusted in high places. It's like this. We have to rehabilitate them psychologically. They have to learn gratitude. They have to know what it's like to be beneath the boot of people while still being respected on some level. So I see this man is maintained in this specific community. Everybody knows him, sees him, and he's just a part of everyday life. And I want to see how everybody feels, how the spirits feel, because I want to go back to celebrating. They all laugh and say, well, he's part of the community, isn't he? And he comes back and he's blushing and he's embarrassed. Because for a moment he thought that he could find his way to the top again in a society where everybody could love each other, but he had other intentions. It's like he couldn't possibly really know what love was. And all the spirits are walking amongst us. All those who died are walking amongst us, and they glow with golden light. And then they bow to you, Jamie, and thank you so much for this gift. And they bow to me, and they bow to all of us here on YouTube, and they bow to the whole world, and they bow to all the stars, and they bow to the angels and God, and like all benevolent beings, they bow to all spirits in all places, in all dimensional realms. And the one thing we all enjoy and the one thing we eat is the peaches. We all enjoy a peach from the many trees. We all enjoy peaches. And that's what we eat to celebrate what happened. And we're grateful for these trees, for these peaches, for these souls, and for what we've learned. I feel like we've done what we need to do, but I feel like there's something else though. So I'm going to let the festivities continue, and there's like board games and people are playing checkers, and there's some chess games here. There's card games. People are dancing. People are... So there's like tables with games, and people are playing games, card games, and I see that's what's going on next as they eat peaches. So Let me just check on this other thing I'm feeling out here. Okay, this is it. I'm going to take you with me, Jamie, okay? There's a big black hole. So we're making progress on healing this place. But there's still a wound here. And it looks like a big hole in the earth. And you and I are going to walk down into this hole, find out what's going on here. And what will move this energy and help the wound to finally heal. This is kind of energetically dangerous. The reason why is because it's full of manipulation, full of whispers. I feel like anybody could get lost in this darkness with these whispers, and you will lose yourself and your own mind. Like, you will lose control of what makes you a benevolent being, and you will start to think differently and act differently and make choices that are influenced by ego and by these whispers. And I ask you, Jamie, what do you feel inspired to do here about this? You say, bring the celebration. And you have a flute, but it actually just makes one really loud noise, like a whistle, and you blow on it, and it's a golden flute. And it's like rounding up the troops, which is just all the regular people and all the souls and all... It's like we're all like, I don't know, we represent just regular people, and we're all free regular people, and we're all coming, whether we have a physical body or a spirit body or whatever, and we're all on the march, and we're marching, and you are the leader of this march. And you kind of make these whistle blows like rallying us up, and you're kind of marking the beat, and we are on the march into the depths of this dark place with all the whispers. And I see that we're actually, our energy, the energy of all of us, is starting to circulate this. And as it circulates this, what feels like a tunnel is actually, it's not what you think it is. It's more like a flat space that creates the illusion of having depth. And it starts to circulate and collect itself, and there's a massive eyeball, super massive eyeball here. And this eyeball is not nice at all. And you say it's okay. And we just keep marching and singing and clapping and whistling and laughing, and we just keep doing our regular people thing as we're just in a group of people in motion, basically. It's really fun, actually. It's really fun to be a part of this. And then people with flags from all over the world are here representing their country, and we're just so, I can't tell you how wonderful this feels. And this eyeball is not sure what to do or where to go. It doesn't even know what to make of what it's looking at, and we're kind of walking on it. And it's attached to a very large kind of underground monster, because a portion of it is also buried. It's not just a big eyeball, it's actually an eyeball attached to a face and a body, and it's huge. And it kind of looks like a gargoyle in a way. It's really pissed off. It doesn't like that we're here. It's like when the alarm clock goes off and you really do not want to get up for work today. It's like this thing is irritated that the alarm clock is going off. It was sleeping, actually. And we are disrupting its rest. And who are all you people? Who do you think you are? And it starts to get so angry, it starts to roar and rumble and threaten every one of our lives that it will kill us. It will take its curved claw and it will gut us. And our guts will spill out and it will feast on our guts while we're still alive watching it do this. It's threatening every single one of our lives. How dare we celebrate each other and life and heal these souls? How dare we? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know what this is about? This thing is messed up. I see a lot of eyes opening from sleeping demons, basically. And they're coming out of the earth. And these are the souls that held on to their pain, that feel they need some type of revenge or some type of resolution. But it's coming from a place of pain and not a place of forgiveness and setting themselves free. These souls got swallowed up into a dark place instead of resurrecting into heaven. And they'll do whatever this master tells them. Again, we're looking at more parallels between leadership, and those who follow the leader are the slaves to the idea of the leader. And these demons aren't thinking for themselves. They're just following a much larger problem, more threatening than they know how to be. So they let it stand in front, and they support it because they don't want to face their own mirrored reflection. They don't want to choose forgiveness. They don't want to choose anything but stay wallowing in hate. And some of these are those who died, and you can't really blame them, right? For being angry. Can't really blame them for being angry. But we need to help them heal that rage. We need to help them heal. And this developed a massive energetic tumor. It's absolutely horrific. It's gross as all get out. Like it's a living, pulsating tumor that is a heart. And all the souls that in their pain that broke off and got swallowed up into the dark. A light side part of their light side may have resurrected, but their dark side went into a dark place. And you are leading the march, Jamie. Because we're not here to create any more suffering for anybody. We're here to bring harmony and balance to all of this and to heal all of this pain. And I hear a screaming woman, and she's giving birth, and a baby is being born into this concentration camp. Is that a blessing or a curse? She asks me. And she says that there's those of us who, it's almost like black voodoo magic kind of stuff, that we made a vow that there would be, that someone or somehow, some way, that there was going to be the karma, basically. But they don't realize that they just pulled themselves into that karmic loop because they're working with hate. Unfortunately, when you work with hate, any type of voodoo magic working with hate is basically made out of a very low vibrational substance. It's not, believe it or not, very powerful in creating a blessing for the world, but hell for themselves and everybody else. I just start to soak up the curse inside me, and I just start to transmute it into light of source. Because we all are part of the light of source, and I know where this curse is coming from. I know why she is screaming. I know why she says what she says. I know why these Others band together and created like a dark mass in order to teach people a lesson, but it wasn't the right way. So I'm just sucking it in, absorbing it in, and sending it to source, because it was just a pain. It was so painful. And I hug her and I say, I am sorry. And I hug her baby and I say that I am sorry that it was like this. We all have something to learn, and look at what we are learning. We're here to help, to heal this. And maybe it wasn't a good life. Are you willing to let it go and join us in creating something better than this for the world? She is crying and she is angry. And she hates this man that's shining shoes. He doesn't deserve to live. He should be cut into pieces and then trampled on by horses or people or whatever. He should be food for the worms. I pull that hate from her and I keep sending it to source. I say that again, that's all the hate that we're working on transmuting. I don't blame you at all for feeling that way. I really don't. I bring you in, Jamie, and then I have her look at you. She slaps you in the face. And she blames you for this too. She blames me. It's like she could blame the whole world because nobody was there for them when they needed us most. When they needed help, nobody was there to help them. And you say that you understand and you heard about the story, and it just, something of your own spirit fell to its knees. And you are very sorry for her and everyone that went through this, is what you say, Jamie. And she says, this can't be undone. This cannot be undone. This cannot be undone, ever. This can never be undone. Never can it be undone. Like, it had to be experienced. Like, she can't accept this was her life. And it is. It's hard to imagine having to go through something this horrific. And she hates the fact that we're celebrating and we're setting all these souls free in the golden light. And she doesn't want to be a part of that celebration. She wants this to be full of hate. She wants the whole world to be full of hate forevermore, because what they went through, this should have been making people angry. The whole world should be angry. And she points a finger at God, she points a finger at man, she points a finger at everything is it caused this. She's so full of hate, she's starting to rip herself apart right now. This is how demons are created. So I say, so you want to be part of an army of demons that are going to rip everybody apart now? Is that what you want to be? The one that caused you suffering, you will be the one that now causes the suffering? Is that what you want? Violence begets violence forevermore, so we can't ever get out of this cycle. The hardest lesson is for you to forgive. For you to be strong enough to forgive and to join us in this march. Because we are marching for you. Instantly her heart bursts, and all of it's like old bugs come out of her heart and just pour out. They sound like beans pouring out. And she starts to gag and cough, and she vomits out lots of these old bugs, like old dried up bugs. They kind of got a hard shelled body. You're dry and dusty. And she cries and her eyes actually explode and bugs come out of her eyes. And her baby turns to ashes in her hand. And I see her turning into dust. And I see that her spirit and the spirit of the baby are together, but they're very weak and exhausted. And I bring them into the celebration with the peaches and the rain and the souls and the angels and the card games, and just bring them on in. Bring them in, part of our band and our march. All this happens at the same time. She needs a very long time to rehabilitate, and I see that as she moves, others of this demonic movement shift as well, and they leave that big demon. And they come and join us where we can all heal, because we're creating heaven here on earth now. We're creating heaven on earth, not hell on earth. We're creating heaven on earth. Come join us. Come join us here. And I see that as the demons leave, their energy is not feeding this big being anymore. This like, not a golem, it was gargoyle-like being. And he's collapsing now and turning to ash as well. Because what is the leader without an army or without slaves that are following? It's the same idea. There is no leader if nobody believes in what you are standing for. You stand then alone for nothing. So he's turning to dust, and his spirit is actually rising up. I pull him on in here because he doesn't want anything to do with this. He wants to run away and hide. And I create an odd structure. It's kind of like a stop sign shape, but it's multi-dimensional. And he's inside of it. And he looks like a lion, actually. And I tell him I want him to have some time to inhale and exhale the warmth and the love that is radiating from everybody here. I want you to take some time to receive this, because within your own heart is the very dream that we are living, and you are worthy of this dream with us. And we welcome you here. And this thing pops, and all kinds of bugs just burst out of it and run in every direction. But then the light hits them, and it's like they turn into little seeds, and of like dandelion seeds in the wind. And I see that the lion's body has disappeared, and it's just a little bit of a soul. And that woman with the baby calls him to sit by her side. And it was like he was her husband. And they share in a meal with the peaches. And it's not just peaches. It's like peach cobbler, peach pie, peach jam, peach. It's like anything you could make with peaches is here. And they're enjoying some of the peaches, and they just start crying, and their tears hit their plates, and they hold each other, and they turn to light, and their light goes and it bursts across this whole space. And I start to see that, again, there's another movement of healing that's radiating throughout this Natchez, Mississippi. Boy, oh boy. With all this light and all this goodness and all this love and all this harmony and all this message, and we can put this to good use here in our world today, right? This is what you're meant to receive, Jamie. This is how you're meant to participate. This is what you're meant to think about, because you just moved mountains today. You really should go visit that place and be one of the first to eat those peaches and thank them for everything. I want to go there too. I want to eat those peaches. And I want to play some music and celebrate life with them. And move that energy and just keep moving it and moving it and moving it and letting it pulsate through this planet and letting it be felt across the galaxy and far reaches of the universe and in all the hearts of the human race, whether we're aware of it or not. that this sensation is rumbling through us, that souls are being healed, and that the pain is being set free from our planet, and that we are manifesting heaven on earth, from hell on earth to heaven on earth. And in order to accomplish that, we need everybody, and we need forgiveness, and we need love, and we need to come hand in hand, and we need music, and we need dancing, and we need flags from every country. We need all religions. We need all personalities of love, right? All right. Thank you, Jamie. Wow. What a cool experience. Thank you for sharing with me, with everybody here. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm just in awe right now. Have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you for watching.